Hi, I'm Kim from Adventures with Six, and I think today I'm going to share with you our curriculum that we're using this year. I'm sorry I haven't done any videos in a while. We got a new computer, we have Windows 10, and I have no clue how to use the webcam. So I'm using my iPad. But I'm going to go through what we're using this year. We're using mostly Seton and CHC with a mix of other curriculum that I've thrown in there that I've used before. So I'm hoping that you get something out of this video. Maybe you can use it, or it maybe gives you ideas for something you can use. So first I'm going to start off with what we use from Seton, and then I'll go through CHC, and then I'll go through all the extra classes that we have to do. So here we go. So for handwriting last year, we used CHC, or Catholic Heritage Curriculum, for handwriting. The kids are almost done with the books that I bought them near the middle of the year last year. So this year I looked and I wanted one that had, still went through cursive, because I want the girls to, their handwriting to be a little bit better than what it is right now. So for Jim and Pippi, this is the book that they have. And it starts very tracing, a lot of tracing, which is fine with me. And then it gets into a lot of writing. Smooth writing. I'm hoping they'll learn to take their time more, and it'll just be more fluid when they write. Bubbles and Duke are also going to be using Seton. Duke already started. Bubbles will start using her Seton book soon. I just like that it covers a little bit more. And there's tracing, yes, but I think they kind of need that in the beginning to kind of know where things should be on the line. So that's handwriting. English. This is Bubbles' English book. Jim and Pippi are finishing up 5th grade English that they started last year. Duke started English this year. He's very excited. So I'll give you a quick look at Bubbles' English book. I like the examples. I like that it only gives you a couple of problems to do. Bubbles is starting with 2nd grade. If she advances some, we will move her up to 3rd grade. But I think for 2nd grade, it's pretty good. Not too hard, but enough to where they're learning a new concept. They're all using Seton for English. This year we're doing spelling. I normally let the kids choose between spelling and vocabulary. I think the only reason I let them choose spelling this year is because for Pippi and Jim, their spelling book has a part where they have to know what the word means in order to answer the questions about the spelling words. So there is some vocabulary in that, and they kind of need to work on their spelling a lot more. This is Duke's book. It's very simplistic. He gets, 10 words. He has to do a little bit with blue and red, depending on, what's this one? A word that means a story, and this one's a word that means a bucket, and then there's underline the words that end in the letter D, and then he has to write the words. Skipped it. And then ABC order, and then the words by color. So he has to circle the consonants and the vowels. So for activities, or 5, what was that? 4. And then on Fridays we'll have a quick spelling test. Sometimes I make them write the words. Sometimes I make them spell them out loud. It really just depends on what kind of week we've had. Now I'm going to go into what we're using from CHC. We have used Faith and Life from the very beginning. We even have Pippi's original Faith and Life book that Duke is using this year. So I'm really happy with it. We normally just buy Pippi a new book. Everyone uses the books that she has used, and then we buy them a new activity book. So I'll give you a quick look at Pippi's text. So it's a nice chapter. It has a few pictures. It has the questions in blue that they're supposed to know. I really like the book. They're pretty sturdy. We haven't had any problems with the kids ripping them or keeping them nice. Again, Pippi's books have been used by everyone else so far. And this is the activity book that goes along with the text. Hers has mostly question and answer. I think there's a few activities, not very many. Duke is not as happy about his activity book because he doesn't like to color. He does not like to color. So I just have to let him do whatever because he doesn't like to color. So next I'm going to show you science. Last year, Pippi and Jem started Behold and See 6. Yes, that means they're a little ahead. They're halfway through this book, so they will finish this book and start 7, 7th grade science. But I really like these science books because the pictures are really nice. It's well written, and in part of the book, it will say what workbook should be done with the pages that they've just read or the definitions they just learned. And so it kind of helps me set what they do for the day. Here's a review page to answer the questions, and then what is that one? Example that doesn't match. So it's worked out pretty well. There's a food chain. There's different activities in here. I think the other thing I like is that there are so many experiments. And the good thing about most of the experiments in this book is that the girls can do them on their own. While I'm helping Duke and Bubbles, or the younger two, Pippi and Jem can do most of these experiments on their own. So Duke and Bubbles are also using Behold and See, which is CHC. This year we're using 2nd grade. That's just the way I normally do things. We started out learning about sea creatures. So today we talked about ocean reptiles and sea turtles, and then they had to use the word bank to answer the questions. Really easy. We don't write in these books. There's not a workbook. We just read it, talk about it, and then they might write down what we learned about or the activity. Or we just go over what we talked about, like this. Talked about the different reptiles, fish, birds, or mammals. So we'll probably just go over these. So this only lasts for half the year. So because we did Behold and See 1, I normally supplement with this Read and Understand Science book. I think I picked this up at Lakeshore, the learning store, a couple years ago, but I really do enjoy this book. It has different subjects that we'll learn about. Like here's magnets, and then it has a few worksheets about magnets and what we talked about in the small section. Experiments, and then it goes on to the next subject. But I like it because it's a way to introduce them to things without overwhelming them too much with one subject. They get a little bit of everything, and then we're ready for 3rd grade science for next year. And the religion, the science, those are what we use from Catholic Heritage besides the Read and Understand Science book. So now I'm going to talk about math. Math is a tricky thing. So we still kind of struggle trying to figure out what the younger one should do for math. So I think it was last year I picked up this Saxon 1 math set for free at a book swap that our homeschool group had. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not. I was just like, it's free. We can use this. We have started using it. I don't know if Duke likes it a lot because it's kind of slow. Repeating things he already knows. He learned them last year. But there's nothing wrong with him relearning things. And it might help him know them better. So we'll see how it goes. If we need to change them up, we will. This year we started Bubbles with teaching textbooks. She seems to really like it. She's doing really good. We've skipped a couple lessons. She's getting hundreds. She is super smart. Our sisters are still, they're still catching up, but they're doing a lot better than they have in the past. Pippi and Jem are using Math 5 right now. Pippi is almost done. She's on the last CD. 4 CDs? She's on the last CD. Jem just started the beginning of this month. So Pippi's excited to be able to start 6th grade math because she's in 6th grade this year. But we love teaching textbooks, and I don't know. I'm always excited to use teaching textbooks because I don't have to really teach them math, but I know that they're getting good math. Now I'm going to talk about the extra subjects that we have to do and an extra one that we are choosing to do on our own. I'm going to start with music. I think I've talked about music before. I've even shared these books before. That's because I like them a lot. Let's Learn Music, Hayes. This is book 1. It goes through teaching the notes, about a staff, about a few songs, the scale. It really just is a nice, easy book to introduce to music and how to read music. There's a boat. Cute little boat. Duke will definitely be using this, and Pippi will too. Or not Pippi, Bubbles. Duke and Bubbles will be using this book. Bubbles is going to be singing choir for a while, so she will be behind a little bit, but she'll be fine. She'll enjoy choir anyways. And this is the book that Pippi and Jem will be using. Music Puzzlers, it's just different music puzzles, like this one's fill in there, and then you put the letters together to equal that. There's a word search. This one talks about percussion. Let's see. There's one, Brahms and Tchaikovsky. There's a little activity, just a paragraph about them. We've learned a little bit about the composers before in another Hayes book that was really good. Let's see. Famous composers. Again, this is one of my favorite curriculum. This is my favorite curriculum for music. I haven't found anything better. It has the little activities to go along with the different subjects. There's Beethoven and Schubert. So that's music for this year. Like I said, Bubbles is going to be doing choir for a little while, but she'll catch back up soon, I'm sure. Bubbles and Duke will use the music puzzlers, the first grade one. Just be careful when you're looking for those. I've seen them pretty expensive. I don't think I'd pay more than maybe $10 for those books. So if you see them for higher than that, look somewhere else. Look somewhere else. They are good books, but they're not worth, like, no way. No way would I pay more than $10 for them. In DC, we were required to do health. So this year I decided to buy official health books. These are Seton. This one's Seton, and I also got Health 6. So, the reason I chose 3 and 6 is because 3 starts at the beginning. It's really basic. It gives stories about this family and what they do, health-wise, why it's important to wash your hands. We talked about your morning routine. It just goes back into that basic thing, and I think the kids need a little bit of a reminder of those things. This talks about fire safety. They just need a reminder. So this is more of the refresher book. And then this one is more of actual teaching the different things. Like this talks about the digestive system. And then it's talking about, what is this? Meal times. It just goes into health a little bit more in depth. Because I think we need, like I said, we need the refresher, and then we need to go in a little bit more depth because the kids can handle it and they like doing that. Art is also Seton. Duke and Bubbles will be using Art 2. Pippi and Jem did use Art 2. It really is a good, like I said, a good set of curriculum. So they'll learn to draw the Bible, the book, and then they'll draw the altar. And then the lighthouse. And then they'll practice drawing Jesus with the lighthouse. So they'll do those, and then they'll do animals. Which, these are my favorite, because I always like seeing how they turn out. The deer. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, the bear. These are always fun to see how the kids draw the animals. And then there's Old Testament stories, like here's Jonah. It doesn't go in depth into the skills, but it does introduce them. We've used Art 3 before, and it does a little bit more, so I think they complement each other. This is this is Art 4 that Pippi and Jem will be using this year. So they're going to be working on making a tablet, lines, some contouring with some leaves. Finishing contouring. Let's see. Using texture. So like I said, the different books that go through, and they do add a little bit here and there. We started using those a couple years ago, like I said, because Pippi and Jem both use the R2 book. Next, I'll share the history. We didn't get much done for history last year, so I'm hoping that George will get more history in for the kids, because they really do enjoy it, and we've had a good time being in the DC area, because we've been able to visit some really cool Catholic sites. So I'm hoping they can get more into some history. So this one is The Catholic Faith Comes to the New World. Again, this is Seton. Nice colors, nice map. This is definitely Catholic history. It does go into a little bit other, but most of it is about Catholics in history and how they affected history.